Team Forever Forward, back with a Q&A today.
Yeah.
God, I haven't had the camera looking at me in a while.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I've forgotten what that's like. Yeah, sorry for the lack of videos recently. This one should make up for it. And
Working
then
on other bits.
yeah, we've got some exciting things
stuff
in
coming
the
soon.
works. So we've got a good few questions to go through today. And they are primarily more related to hypertrophy training, I think, for the most part.
This way.
You want to go this way?
Yeah, we'll go this way.
Let's go this way. Where we go?
Just my dodgy driving there, guys, don't worry.
Yeah, that's fine. Right, let's get into it then. Right, let's go for the first one. Any tips on the best ways for a new PT to advertise?
Advertise. Did you want to take this one?
No, you go for it. You go for it first.
So I would say the best way of advertising is, first of all, if you have a client, make sure you are getting them the results they want, because then they will refer to, you'll get referrals through them, so other people will join through them. And I think personally that is the best way of advertising, is actually getting results, so that other people, like, they'll tell their friends, oh, my personal trainer is amazing, and you'll get clients through that. But then other than that, obviously social media is really popular now. So you got to be on Facebook, Instagram, and you can run like Facebook campaigns if you're a slightly bigger, like PT company, and stuff like that. And just giving people it, like helping people for free, will probably mean that in the long run, they're gonna, when they want more help, they're probably going to come to you and pay for your services, because they know that you've actually been able to help them before.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
100%. I'd agree with that. I think, to be honest, the best way to advertise is make up some like random diet or workout.
Oh yeah.
Some like random
Rapid
diet.
results.
Yeah, make it up.
5000 2.0 XL.
Sell them on all the bullshit.
Fat
and
loss 3000.
chuck that up. You get tons of clients that way.
And then say real science behind it.
100% true science.
100% true, evidence-based, real science.
We found a funny channel on YouTube that I think we're going to make a post up about soon.
Yeah,
It's
we won't
just
do that
full
now.
of crap. But sweet, that's the
It is
first
funny.
one done. Right, this one is a good one. How much should I worry about rest time between sets? What different adaptations would occur if I decreased my rest time rather than increasing the load? Right, I'll jump in this one.
Yeah,
That's right
it
first.
also depends on what you're training for as well.
Yeah, okay, so the way I kind of think about rest time is it's, well, nice and simple. It's the recovery from that set to set, pretty self-explanatory. But if you were to, like, so if you think about what the goal of it is you've done that first set, which is the main, like, stimulus for whatever it is you're trying to get out of the body, then you're needing a rest time that is appropriately matched to that to make sure that all the energy systems are recovered significantly enough so that you can then cause a significant stimulus again in that next set. So that's the main priority. So dependent on what the goal is will dictate your rest time. Think about rest time as well between sets, almost like being recovery between workouts.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do one workout and then rest an hour or so and then do the exact same workout again.
Why not, bro? It's all about the games.
Oh, maybe. Who knows? Who knows? So just think about it like that, in the fact that you need that rest time in order to recover for that next set. So if it's strength training, then obviously it's going to be a little bit longer. If you cut that recovery down, so the second part of your question, in terms of decreasing rest and increasing load as a method of like increasing the intensity, I don't really like it that much, because like I said, the set is what's giving the stimulus. So people cutting, if you cut your rest time, just try it out in the gym and you'll see what happens, is if you cut the rest time down, yeah, you won't be able to increase the load, but that load will go down each set. If you don't provide enough time to recover from set to set, the weights will go down, and then
Or your reps
if you're
will get
trying to grow
shredded.
or try and get stronger, then you've really got to think, what's the point in doing that? Because the heavy weights is what's going to get the results there. So that's that one. I need your thumb again, mate.
Thumb.
There you
Provided.
go. Done.
Really should have done it on my left hand.
Is there anything you want to add to that? In terms of the
I think
adaptations,
you've
like
covered
specific
pretty much
adaptations, it really,
everything.
like, I can't cover that one. Right, this next one is, should warm-up sets consist of more or fewer reps than the working sets, assuming they are at a load lighter than the working sets?
Oh, did you want to take this one?
I'll start this one off then. I would say the way I generally structure it is I'm guessing you're talking about the specific movements here. So like if I'm doing the squat, my warm-ups for the squats. I would say for the light ones, it depends what reps you've got in the session, but I'd probably, for the lighter sets, lighter warm-up sets, start off at the same number of reps that you're going to be doing for the working sets. No more. Do that with the light weights for a while, and then when you're working up to your working weight, I'd still stay at the 8 reps, but if you're lifting heavy, what I tend to do is, for example, if I'm training with sets of 5 reps, let's say just a random example, at 150 kilos, okay, whatever I'm doing. I'll start off nice and light, just doing sets of 5, because that's what I'm going to be using later. I'll continue to increase the load bit by bit with sets of 5 until I start getting to a weight where it's actually pretty taxing, and I could be doing a workout at that. So for example,
So you
like
fatigue yourself there.
so around 120 I might drop down to sets of 3 or sets of 2 just to
feel the
get
weight.
like acclimatized to that weight and get more of the specific warm-up without adding too much fatigue before I actually get in to the working weight that I want to be using for that session. Because I think warm-ups are definitely important, but then it's also important to bear in mind that I don't want to be doing 100 sets at a weight that's 10% less than the one I'm using in the session, because that's going to accumulate in fatigue, and people forget to include that into their whole like training overview, and then it'll have a knock-on performance later. So that's what I think.
This is for a few of our clients that we coach. The warm-up sets are important. Don't just go, I think some people go, I lift 120, I'm going to bang 70 kilos on the bar straight away. Take your time to work up to the heavier weights, because that's when you're going to drill the technique. You can really work on your positioning and bracing and stuff, and your body needs to warm up and get used to the movement. That's when you're sort of greasing the groove, I guess, for that exercise.
Yeah, use it as practice.
Yeah, that's
like
exactly
it's
what
training.
it is.
Yeah, it's training, getting ready for that session. So
It's like a bowler in the nets.
yeah, so just getting ready. Cool. Right, next one. Would you suggest training when you're ill, or wait until you get over it before heading back to the gym?
All depends on how ill you are. Like if you're going to go in the gym and training whilst you're ill is going to make you worse in the long run, so you end up missing out on more sessions, then it's not a good idea. But then it could be a case of if you've got a slight sniffle and you go in there, you might feel better afterwards.
Yeah,
What would you say?
I would say that. I'd also say that when you think about training and illness and stuff like that, it's all stresses on the body, and you
You're not gonna recover
it's
properly.
not a specific stress pool for training, and then a different one for illness. The body pulls from this one like source of stress, so you can think of it as an overall stress capacity. So when you're ill, basically that's going to drop down, and you're not going to have the recovery capacity that you did before. So like Connor said, it kind of depends where you're at, because if that is draining your capacity to where you're not going to be able to do the session and then recover suitably and then make a positive adaptation, then yes, it's pointless. Whereas if you're just slightly like feeling a little bit down, as I'm saying this way there, there you go. So if you're just a little bit ill and got a bit of a cough like that, then it might not be so bad, but you've got to kind of gauge it, see how you're feeling. If you feel like, if you do your training leave and then you feel like crap and the next session is like a little bit worse and you can't
Yes, if
progress,
it takes away from more
then
sessions.
just pay attention. But I think it's a bit of common sense,
It's like a cost to benefit.
yeah. And then the other thing as well is like, getting better requires extra energy as well. So like I said, it's going to be drawing on that recovery pool of energy. So you just need to bear it in mind when it comes to how much stress you do, and potentially you could just get into the gym and do less than what you're planning to, just to like lower how much you're doing training wise to account for that. But I think that's the main thing. And keep not locking your phone, and I don't have your thumb. Just cut your thumb off and then it'll be all good.
There you go.
Sweet, right, so those are the ones we had on Instagram. Let's go to some other ones that we've got in as well. Let's go for some good ones. Where should we start at? It makes sense to start from the beginning.
Beginning's always good.
For the most part, I'd say so. These are a little bit easier ones that we got in. How do you specifically warm up and stretch?
How do we specifically warm up and stretch?
What are our actual warm up and stretch routines like?
I squat if I'm squatting. I deadlift if I'm deadlifting. I bench if I'm benching, and we start like really low, and then work up to our working sets, and that's it. If I'm feeling really like stiff, I might do like some complexes with an empty bar, like just pick it up, do some front squats, and then some overhead press, some RDLs and stuff like that. But that's personally how I warm up. Just do the
do the movement. Do the movement and get into it. A lot of people waste time doing silly stuff where they can get into the movement and just warm up. I will say that if you want to do like a little bit of a tiny, like a little warm up on the cardio, and I mean like just a 2 or 3 minute, just to get yourself more in mental headspace ready to go, then go for it. But the purpose of the warm up is just to literally do that, warm the body up and prepare yourself for that session. So it just generally needs to increase the body temperature a little bit and get those specific movements doing. So like I said, if we are doing squats, we will do squats with the empty bar for a bunch of sets, like quick turnover, swap until we're there and we're feeling pretty warm. So I think that is like our little cardio warm up, and then we build the weight up bit by bit. That is a little bit more for strength stuff because we are focusing so much on that. If you're doing like a general whole body routine, then just a general couple of dynamic movements to get into it. But in terms of stretching, I don't do any stretching at all. So it can be done, just make sure you don't do it in the same session. So don't do it before, don't do it afterwards, do it at another time in the day. And if it's done further away from the session, then there's a cool little study in the latest issue of Mass that said that it had a slight increase in concentric and eccentric strength, which is obviously what we're going for, but they didn't find any negative effects of it when it's done out away from the session. Obviously if you do it before you're training, and I mean static stretching that is, it's obviously going to, well I think it's just pointless to do before the session. But yeah, that's our one anyway. Shall I do cardio or weights first? I'll take that one.
Yeah, go for it.
So ideally, I'd like cardio to be done on a different time entirely. However, if you have to get it done in the same day and the same session, then 100% put the cardio after the weights, okay? Because there's lots of research showing and suggesting that cardio before strength training will impair your strength results. However, strength training before cardio didn't have an impact on any of your aerobic adaptations. So that would suggest that if you put cardio first, it's going to impact the strength. If you put cardio after, then it's not going to impact the strength and it won't really affect the cardio. I will say though, if cardio is your main thing, then that's the main priority.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's that one.
Cost to benefit sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, it should be done separate.
How do I know if I'm gaining muscle and burning fat?
How do you know?
Yeah.
Look in the mirror. You can, like, the most, well, I don't know if it's the most accurate, but one of the most accurate ways is to get a DEXA scan. But I think if you're looking in the mirror and you see results, take before and after photos, or progress pics, if you want to call them that.
I'd be saying, so body fat, an interesting thing on body fat percentage and using body fat is people that are generally interested in what their body fat percentage is are generally interested in it from a kind of looks and vanity perspective and a kind of like the appearance view, the aesthetics. And that appearance or attractiveness of low body fat, or just attractiveness in general, is a subjective measure. So sometimes you got to think, why would you use like an objective test to measure something that's done subjectively, if that makes sense? So yeah, so if you're looking at yourself and you're doing body fat for the whole goal of you want to look better, then you looking better is going to be subjective to your opinion of what looks better. So does it really matter if you're 12% or 15% if you look better? So I like the idea of using a mirror. If you really want to know specifically, use a body fat measurement tool and use it consistently. So skin folds, DEXA if you have the money for it, stuff like that. To be honest, you could use bioelectrical impedance as well, but a lot of these things aren't very accurate, but if you do them consistently, they can produce a little bit of reliability to use, and you can use that for your data. But that's what I'd say on that. And the biggest thing is, like, most people don't need to worry about what their body fat is anyway. Let's see. Will doing a lot of ab work give me a six-pack? No, I touched on this last time, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
We've already told you guys, paint the damn abs on.
Yeah,
Like, stop trying to diet down.
Yeah,
There's no point.
Good lighting.
Yeah, just eat what you want, get good lighting, and then just paint them on. That's all you need to know for this. It's all good.
Airbrush that.
I think everyone should know, like, nowadays, there's so much crap around there, but yes, a calorie deficit to lose body fat. And it's specific ab work, they are a muscle, so if you want to train them specifically, go nuts, but that's not what's going to show them.
You need to work on your diet if you want abs.
If I can't sleep 8 hours per day, will I be unable to gain what? I don't know. But no, 8 hours sleep is definitely optimal. That's optimal. Not 100% required, but in terms of sleep, it's a huge recovery factor.
I was going to say, it helps with your recovery so much.
I would really try and get that 8 hours. If you can't get it done in one block, try and get it done like with some naps as well. There's plenty of people out there that are like, oh yeah, but I only do this much sleep and I can keep going. Like the guys in the military survive off thing, but there's a difference between surviving and doing well and training optimally. So 100% try and reach that 8 hours.
It's always a case of, okay, yeah, you've done well with 4 hours sleep. What, like, if you were recovering properly and having 8 hours sleep, like, what could you have done then?
Yeah. Is deadlifting, you can have this one, is deadlifting with proper form still bad for your back?
Oh my god. How is that even a question?
It is. It's terrible for your back.
No. It's not bad for your back. It's good.
If you've got a crap ton of back issues, then most things aren't going to be deadlifting, like the exercise, like people think of it as black and white. Like if you titrate and fix the intensity suitable for that person that's within the capacity of their body, you'll be fine.
Progressively, you got to start really learning.
Do I need to squat to build huge legs?
Not necessarily.
No, not necessarily. If you don't like squatting, man, hell up and start squatting. I would put squats in for most people because it's a brilliant exercise for it. Heavy old weights on it, compound exercise, yada yada yada. It's a good exercise. Do you need it? 100% no. There's plenty of people who've got big legs without squatting. All you need to do is be in a calorie surplus, so be eating more than you're burning, and then be doing a fair bit of work on your legs. I think a lot of people are like, oh, do I need to squat till I get big legs? A lot of the time people don't even train their legs properly, so just start training your legs to get big legs.
Yeah.
Like whatever you want to do, just start training them with decently heavy weight, using a mix of low reps heavy weight and also lighter weight high reps for a little bit of the burning stuff, and you'll be fine. Nice and simple. Do I need to do a loading period when using creatine? No. Take 5 grams a day. they love that because it's like you have to take a ton of their products to use it up
You
quicker.
have to take more,
But no.
so then you end up buying more creatine. A great marketing strategy that is.
Can I add another chest training day to my program? Or to program, they put X as in the program they're doing. Can I add another chest day? Well, it depends.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You can't just like, it depends on the volume of what you're doing, how much you're doing, what's your recovery like, are you making progress on it? All these things, it's quite tough to just say, can I add another chest training day to this when I don't know what your program is?
Yes, we'd have to find out what your program is.
Are you training 6 days a week
and
and you're
doing
running another
chest
one?
day?
Yeah.
Like, is that all you're doing?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
you're
understand.
training twice a day. There's so much that
No, I don't
needs to
know.
be found out before answering that question.
Are all powerlifters fat? I don't think I'm fat. I do powerlifting.
Well, I don't know. Actually, on the BMI, I'm nearly obese now.
I'm overweight, definitely.
I'm nearly obese on BMI, so but no.
No, I would say, right, it's an interesting topic to get into actually. I quite like this one. The differences between hypertrophy or bodybuilders and powerlifters. So powerlifters, obviously their goal is strictly how much damn weight can they move. That is it. That's the be all and end all. They don't. Well, they probably do internally care about what they look like, but the main goal is to lift as much as they can. So, obviously there's tons of factors that influence how strong you are, but one huge factor is going to be hypertrophy and how much actual muscle mass you have on you.
Yeah.
Now, I think the reason that the powerlifters generally tend to look a little bit more chubby is the fact that they eat so much, and it's a huge thing in that kind of area. There's like a split between bodybuilders and powerlifters, and it's kind of not so bad anymore, but it's definitely still there. But like powerlifters, and like most people would just say, you gotta just eat more, and then you end up eating excessive amounts. And actually, powerlifting training, you don't actually do a ton of volume to like match it necessarily compared to bodybuilders who do a lot higher volume training on all body parts and are providing a more optimal signal for muscle growth compared to powerlifting, just because of the rep sets and exercises they're using. And they've probably got a more finely tuned calorie surplus as well, and they're probably tracking it a lot more accurately because they care about the aesthetics, whereas powerlifters are just shoving the food in with the goal of getting stronger, and it does work out, but then you end up being a heavy old guy, which can help out for some situations, but for the most part, having extra fat isn't necessarily optimal. But the question is, are all powerlifters fat? Hell no. Hell no. There are some guys that are shredded and look like they've stepped off a bodybuilding stage. I can't remember his name. What's his name? It's like Russell Swole or Russell something.
And
That
Dan
guy
Green,
Yeah,
powerlifter.
they're mad.
He's ripped.
We got time for one more question, I think.
One?
Yeah. We've got 6 minutes.
There you go.
Let's try and find a good one that we had. I've got I'm gonna give you one and then I'll do this other one.
Alright.
Here you go, you can have this one. Will eating carbs at night make me fat?
No.
Is that it?
Just no. So, what makes you fat is being in a calorie surplus. Over consuming generally food is what is going to make you fat. Being in a calorie deficit is what makes you lose weight or burn fat. So no, the answer to the question is eating carbs at night is not going to make you fat. And also, the body's process of turning carbs into fat is like really inefficient. So no, just no. No.
No, don't worry about that. Worry about your overall daily calorie intake and your overall daily carb intake.
If
and
you're in
don't
a calorie
fuss
deficit
about where that food is. If you're if you've got performance as the goal, then put the carbs around training just to help fuel the training session. But apart from that, no, it's not going to make you fat for sure.
No.
For sure. Right, last one then.
What we got?
The 1 to 5 rep range doesn't build muscle, is that correct? Right, it's kind of similar thing about that whole strength training and why their powerlifters a little bit fatter, 1 to 5 reps does build muscle. The muscle building rep range is ginormous. There is no specific rep range necessarily that just strictly doesn't build muscle. It's what builds muscle the most effectively for your time and effort. So tons of studies in terms of like 30% 1 RM, so 30% of your 1 rep max having equal progress compared to like the 60 to 70% range, which is your typical stuff. But man, you've got to go to failure, and those sets are long as hell and brutal. Like, put 30% of your like anything on an exercise, 30% of your 1 rep max on any exercise, and go to failure and do that a ton of times and tell me how fun it is, because it ain't fun. It's not good, and it takes a long time.
Squat.
It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So that grows muscle. So the 1 to 5 rep range still grows muscle, but the trouble with that is you can't actually accumulate much volume within that range. So that volume is going to be the main driving force, but like for how much muscle you do grow. So if you can't accumulate much volume in that range, then yeah, it's going to limit it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't grow muscle. It just doesn't grow as well as dropping the reps down, the reps up, and bringing the weight down. Well, I said that completely wrong. Bringing the weight down and bringing the reps up.
Yeah, dropping the reps up. You said.
Yeah, that's it. I got that backwards.
It's all right. It's all good. It's early.
But that's it. So hopefully that answered some of your questions. Let us know if you want to do another one of these Q&As.
Yeah,
Potentially
we'll
do a
try and keep
Facebook
doing
Live
these.
one at some point.
Yeah, because then you could comment and we can answer your questions there and then.
Live, going through it. We're off to go bouldering now and have some fun.
We're going to monkey around.
To be some monkeys.
Yeah.
Should be good fun. Anyway, we'll
It's
stick
always
this up
funny
on,
watching me fall off walls and land on my head.
That's it.
So.
But we'll launch this one up on Facebook and YouTube as well, so you guys can check it out on both of those places. Remember to like the video, hit the subscribe if you're watching it on YouTube, hit the like button on Facebook, share it around a little bit, and make sure you try out that damn deadlift challenge, that partner deadlift. Give it a go.
Deadlifting.
And upload it to our Facebook page. We did it the other day. We got 22 total reps with 240 on the bar. 2 reps disallowed.
It was tough.
We set the bar at 20 reps, so try and beat it. We've got the leaderboard, so send it in.
We're going to have to redo that because I want to get those reps in.
we'll
I struggled locking out a few of them because of the height difference, because Michael's slightly shorter and got longer arms, and I'm slightly taller and got shorter ass arms.
Yeah, I've got like a orangutan arms.
It looked like I was trying to hump the bar up on a couple of reps. So,
but that's it. It's been a long one today, but hopefully there's some good content in there, and we will see you in the next one.